Okay, for the Lils.
What's up, Lils?
Just got some info from Jonathan. He has a grandfather who killed a crocodile.
Alligator.
Yeah,
a little smaller than a crocodile.
Oh, my bad. Then that's a worthless story. Det vill jag inte höra om. Alltså, en alligator, fy fan. Gud vad tråkigt.
Put it in his bathtub.
För vad? För att han skulle ha som ett husdjur eller bara som
just like I don't know why he had it in the bathtub, but every time I went over there after that, I was scared to go in the bathroom.
Ja.
Because they always kept the shower curtain closed. So every time I went there, I was like, is there an alligator in there now?
Ja, men det var inte det.
No.
Det var bara, okay,
they said he put it in the bathtub, and then later he let it free.
Jesus.
And he was missing the top part of this finger. I just thought it was so mysterious. Pop up. It was my Native American great grandfather. Pop up.
Crazy.
But I heard that it was fishing wire, either fishing line that took off like getting caught in the fishing line, took off that, or slammed in an old car door. Fishing line sounds better.
Men vilken tror du att det var egentligen?
Probably the door. Or an alligator.
Yeah.
An alligator slammed the door on his hand and he had to remove it with a fishing line.
Oh yeah.
That's what actually happened.
Enda logiska förklaringen, helt klart.
Shout out to Pop-Up.
Oh, shout out Pop-Up.
I remember his funeral. It was one of the first funerals I ever went to when he passed away. And they had, they don't do that so much here. To show the body like that.
Open casket.
Yeah, open casket. He was so tall. And I remember him up there. And my cousin Anita, I always thought she was so pretty. She had the long, like, Native American hair.
Yeah.
And she was like, I remember the Native American side of my family crying like black people. I was like, oh shit, they want us. black people at a funeral like, oh my God, take me! And you see these Native American looking people, Jesus! I'll never forget that, being like, oh shit, they just like us.
Jag fattar inte varför man vill att någon på en begravning att man ska säga take me.
Yeah.
Tycker det är ganska bra setup som det är ändå.
like,
trots att det är sorgligt, men this is fine. Keep it going.
What if God was like, all right. He said, you wake up in your casket, oh shit, where's my daughter? My daughter gone. Oh Lord, take me back.
Take me. Like the snap.
I was joking. My mom said she wanted I had an aunt that used to do that. My mom was like, "Wouldn't them a pusher?" Because when they bring the body down, it's a long way down, you know. So she was like, one day she wanted to pretend she's gonna push her down because
yeah.
You're gonna take me. Oh shit. Never mind, Jesus.
No, don't take me. No.
Don't take me. I'll take it back. But the funerals here are so. Unfortunately, I've been to a few here. And they're so peaceful and beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I still have that, you know, Black American in me. I'm just like hysterically crying. I don't do the take me. Yeah, but everybody's so quiet. I feel like I'm on a subway train. I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'm trying like not to overcry.
Det är väldigt subtilt. Det beror på vad det är för bröllop också. Begravning. Jag ser begravningar som bröllop. Men det beror lite på vad det är för begravning. Senaste begravningen jag var på var en kompis som gick bort och han var ju yngre än mig. Så det var ju det var ju fucked up. Då grät ju hela kyrkan liksom. Och men det är så här okontrollerat, för när det är någon äldre, jag har haft mycket äldre som har gått bort, men då är det så här, du är äldre liksom. Yeah. Det är också sorgligt, men det är på något annat sätt. Man har en annan förståelse för det. Och när det är någon som verkligen inte borde dö alltså, tidigt, då blir det så jävla mörkt.
Yeah, that makes me the saddest one.
Fy fan.
Damn. Well,
with those words.
On that beautiful note, speaking of people that are dead to us, let's bring in the Phils. Fucking idiot losers.
Det här är Teach Me Sweden, en podcast med mycket historia från Sverige och humor från hela universum. Det är 2 stycken komiker som försöker lära varandra svensk historia. Jag heter Erik Broström.
And I'm Jonathan Rollins. And in this episode, I'm going to be teaching Erik about the use of military weapons and bayonets in order to keep things as they should be.
Och ingen rättvis lön vart en man såg.
Stay tuned for Change Me Sweden.
Är det du, Jonathan?
Oh, what does Al Pitcher say? Nej, man!
Vem?
Al Pitcher, he does the nej, man!
Jaha, nej, men!
Oh, that's how it goes. Nej, man! Shout out to Al Pitcher. We got to get him on here.
I'll get in touch with him.
Yeah, it's our homie.
Ja. Han kanske ska hyra oss. Vi har ju många ståuppare som testar sina material på vår scen.
Okej.
Så han hörde av sig här för ett tag sedan. Vi har inte pratat på det länge. Han kanske var lite intresserad.
Nice.
Ja, det här är inte information ni behöver veta. Men det var intressant att han dök upp. För då kom jag på att vi kanske borde svara honom igen.
Ja. Tell the listeners what they're listening to.
Det här är ju Teach Me Sweden. Det har ni redan hört i introt. Men det här är ju när du och jag försöker förstå svensk historia.
Yes.
Och lära varandra det.
And this episode, I'll be teaching you a little slice of Swedish history.
Oh, a slice is just what the doctor ordered. Kör hårt, min vän.
All right. I'm hoping you don't know the story.
Okay.
But let's do it. Mm-hmm. This is the story of famed writer Astrid Lindgren.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, man.
Jonathan.
I'm doing a money series. I'm going to go through all the money. She's on the money. I was looking at my money.
No, Jonathan.
What? Oh. No, I'm just kidding.
Det är därför vi har exams.
Wait a minute. I knew this sounded familiar. No, in the 1870s, the city of Sundsvall had 9,000 inhabitants. You been to Sundsvall before?
Ja, tyvärr.
Oh no.
Nej, men grejen var att kort instick. Jag turnerade mycket under ett tag med en ungdomsteater och som heter Unget om Pung. Vi var där. Sundsvall var en av de här återkommande. Och det finns inget. Jag ska inte snacka skit, men det var okej. Det var inte en stad i min smak. Det var diplomatiskt.
Well, in the 1870s, they had 9,000 inhabitants. Mm-hmm. And for reference, Stockholm had 145,000.
Lite fler. Mm-hmm.
So that's, like less than a tenth of the size of Stockholm.
Yeah.
Sundsvall was a working class town. Many people there worked at the sawmills. Mm-hmm. A lot of sawmills there. The neighboring towns of Skön, must be nice to be from Skön. Är det skön, eller? Är det skönig? Är det skönish?
Så är det dumt.
I know, right?
Var kommer du ifrån? Är du skön, eller?
Ja, det är jag.
Fett skön. Alltså.
Jag är fett skön. Märkte du inte det? Then there was a town called Alnö and a town called Njurunda.
Njurunda?
N-J-U Runda.
Jaha, Njurunda? Jaha, Njurunda, okej. Okay.
That's interesting. It felt a little Native American to me when I saw it.
Yeah.
They had similar situations with like working class sawmills. So that was all the neighboring towns there. And Sundsvall was a big deal because there was a recent breakthrough in the wood products industry, and there were a total of 23 steam saws in the district.
Okay.
So like they're like the hip, in the wood world.
Right.
They use wooden cartridges, and that invested in modern, efficient steam saws, and that replaced the old water saws that they had back then. And now production, because of using the steam saws, it could be on the coast instead of having to be upstream with the water saws.
Ja, just det. Det kan inte beroende av vattnet. Så
right.
nu kan man såga lite vad man vill om man har ångsåg blir det väl.
Exactly. And Sundsvall was thriving. I'm impressed that you knew about the ångsåg. I learned that word today.
Well, you said steam saw and I just put one and one together and did a little Google Translate in my head.
Okay. A steam saws they were also more efficient.
Uh-huh.
And they were easier to transport. It was just like win, win, win. And Sundsvall having so many, they were just winning.
Var de kraftfullare också, antar jag, att de kunde ta sig genom tjockare stockar kanske? Eller?
I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with that.
Go with it.
Yeah, we're going with it. Going with the flow with it.
Yeah.
The sawmill industry. Oh yeah, you're in charge. I was like, did I hit record? I freaked out for a second.
I'm at the buttons, baby.
You got the buttons. The sawmill industry was a lucrative one, and Sundsvall was right at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
This meant that the owners of the sawmills were bringing in boatloads of cash.
Yeah.
And as we know about economics and humans throughout history, if the company is making a lot of money, then the workers obviously making a lot of money. So it's good to work at a sawmill because they're making so much money.
Yeah.
Nope, not true at all. No. I was being sneaky. Despite being at the forefront of this growing industry, a large percentage of the workers at the Sundsvall sawmills were living in poverty.
Yep.
The working conditions were harsh, or described as harsh by them. And housing, the sawmill people were like, all right. You're living in poverty. We will provide you housing. To these people as a thankful benefit to their valued employees.
Ja, snällt av dem.
Many of the houses consisted of one single room. And some of the one-room houses, they were like, you know what? You got a family. Okay, you still live in a one-room house with your family. And then sometimes people didn't have a family.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, okay, you will live in a one-room house with that family in that one-room house. So they combined families and random people. It's like, oh, you work here too? Take house number 3 with the full family.
Vart ska jag bo? Ja, vad intressant att du sa det. Har du någonsin sett en clownbil? Det är ungefär så. Vi kallar det för clown house.
George, can you press play?
Time to go to work. Press play.
Exactly. As they go to the mill. So that was the situation. That's how fucked up it was.
Jesus.
They're just like, fuck you. That's the biggest. This might be the biggest fuck you I've seen, man.
Det här huset är för en person. Ni är 7. Välkomna!
Oh, did I say 7? Now 8. Meet Oscar. You're a new roommate. Literal roommate. Is it housemate? No. Roommate. You all share one room.
Oscar är en före detta brottsling, rånare och våldtäktsman.
Is he fresh out of college? No. Fresh out of jail.
Han kommer passa perfekt.
Who's that? What's that wooden thing around that man's head? Well, he's in trouble right now. He's on probation.
Som istället för en fotboja så har man en stor stock.
in the one room.
Ja.
That man's watching me, mommy.
Han har inget val. Han kan ju bara titta åt det hållet. Han sitter ju fast i den här...
It's okay.
Vad heter den? Skamstocken heter den,
I forgot. We taled about an episode too.
Skamstocken.
It's like, can we who's gonna feed him tonight? Who's feeding Oscar? All right. In 1879, a Great Depression fell over Sweden. This happened so many times too. Wood prices fell, profits fell, and the sawmill companies kicked into action to make things better. They decided to reduce the worker pay to 1 crown per day.
Wow! Vad hade de innan?
Oh, I don't know what they had before, but they were like, we're going cut your pay in half.
Cut your pay in half.
The work day, though, 12 hours. So 12 hours. So you make it 12 crowns, man. So the work day was 12 hours. You get 1 crown a day.
1 crown a day or an hour? A day?
Per day.
Så för 12 timmar får du 1 krona?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really, yeah.
Är inte mycket alltså.
The sawmill companies wanted to help things out, so they applied for a government grant. So that they can keep production up and then they don't have to go under, you know what I mean? It helps the whole community if the sawmill, if they could get a grant from the government.
Yeah.
They received a 3 million kroner grant from the government. Back then, 1870.
Ja, herregud.
A lot of money.
Det är för fan...
I didn't even do the math.
Vi säger 50 miljoner, säger vi.
Yeah, that sounds right. Mm-hmm. They received the 3 million crown grant, and they threw a big party to celebrate.
Som kostar 3 miljoner.
2 mil, and then we'll separate the last mil into our pocket.
Vad kul det var igår.
So the workers, everybody was celebrating, and the workers, they got back to work. They're like, boom, we got this grant for the company. Life is going to be better. Maybe we'll even get a 2-room house. Who knows? And then the workers looked at their check. Same pay.
Oh. God damn
it. How long am I working a day? 12 hours, motherfucker. One of the major sawmills was called Hefner's sågverk. It was owned and operated by Fredrik August Åslund. And Fredrik was a businessman.
Varför heter det Hefner om han heter Åslund?
For some reason, he has a different name than his father.
Okay.
But his father was Hefner.
So han var en bastard!
Maybe. But he was a businessman. He studied in Uppsala, like every single person I ever met. It feels like, right? All these people.
De flesta är där någon gång.
And Lübeck.
Lübeck?
And then he did an internship in England and in France. He's a pretty worldly guy.
Ja, verkligen.
And his father built that Ong såg you talked about.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah, in 1868.
Han uppfann ångsågen? Alltså.
Yeah.
Shit.
And it got the family into the sawmill and wood products business.
Och sen flyttade delar av hans familj till USA, och så födde de en son som heter Hugh, och sen på den vägen ner sen blev det lite mer...
Hugh Hefner?
Yeah.
Frederick was also a Spanish vice consul for many years.
Vad heter det? Spanish?
For Spain, the vice consul.
Jaha.
And he sat in Sundsvall's municipal council.
Wow.
He was very involved in Sundsvall as chairman of Sundsvall Sparbank and co-founder of Sundsvall's Handelsbank. He donated to the orphanage, infirmary, and the workhouse.
Ja, mycket fin ju.
Sounds like a real nice guy.
Vad är den här enkronslönen för skit då?
I know, right?
Yeah.
On May 26th, the workers at Hefner's sawmill, which is where that's August, they had enough.
Yeah, ja, såklart. Herregud.
They said if conditions weren't going to get better, they're just not going to go to work.
Vi tänker inte ta den här skiten längre.
Yeah.
Oscar slickade på mig i natt när jag vaknade. Jag vaknade av att han slickade på mig.
Enough is enough. I couldn't tell if he was shrugging or what with his hand.
Yeah. Han hade händerna i en så här, som att antingen att han inte brydde sig eller att han är skadad av att ha varit i skamstocken för länge.
But word spread. They're like, some people are not going to work. Får man göra så?
Vadå, hade du aldrig strejkat i Sverige? Är det här den första svenska strejken? Wow.
I don't know.
No, okay.
A growing march of workers went from sawmill to sawmill in Sundsvall region and were like, hey man, don't go to work.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Don't go to work. And up to 5,000 workers participated in just fucking not going to work and striking.
Wow.
And all but one of the sawmills in Sundsvall region were involved in this strike.
Okay.
The strikers camped at Norrberget. And then they went without permission to Skarpskyttebanan, which is a peninsula near Kubinkeborg. The strike was, it was, of course, felt financially by the sawmill owners. They're like, dude, we're losing a crown a day.
Yeah.
Per person.
Yeah.
And we're not making any, we're not getting any work done.
Yeah.
And this is Sweden, so if you didn't meet your deadlines, you had to pay penalties.
Yeah.
So the companies were ending up paying penalties because the ships were coming to take to ship their products and nothing was there. And they're like, you made us ride here for nothing. You got to pay penalty.
Men de visste ju, det här är så dumt. Alltså, hur girig får man vara när man säger vi tar alla pengarna och 1 krona var om dagen till er. De fattar väl att det inte kommer hålla och att de kommer göra något åt det. Om de inte strejkar, alltså det blir våldsamt och om de inte står där och sågar, de måste ju ge dem något så att Det är så lön fungerar.
Yeah.
Vad fan?
You pay the people. It's almost a bribe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll give you this money if you do this work.
Lön är en bribe. Lön är en muta. Det är bara så här. Gör de här siffrorna till den här personen. Typ en ekonom. Bara nej. Ja, men du får pengar. Det är ju det är en muta. Muta, det är en överenskommelse. Tjänst och förtjänst. Men
I'm bribing people to come to my comedy club.
Yeah, I'm bribing.
Give me money, I'll make you laugh.
Ja, jag mutar hela min personal dagligen.
But that's so now they were getting penalties. So the company's like, okay, what the fuck? So the sawmill owners, they went to the governor of the area and were like, yo, this is some bullshit, man. This is bullshit. These workers are not coming to work, and we have to pay these penalties. How dare they make us lose our money? Which is a rational argument.
Jo, om det var helt logiskt. Men om man tänker på vad de har gjort för att förtjäna det.
Imagine them walking into the governor. Hey man, this is some bullshit, man. I gotta report something.
Vi har i princip slavar. Och i den bemärkelsen att vi ger dem ett hån till peng för deras tjänster. Och nu vill de inte jobba.
How fucking dare they? Who do they think they are? Who do they think they are? Not helping me make more money. Have you received any like windfall of cash or anything you can give them? Well, I got 3 million crowns, but that's for me.
Det var för sveda och verk för att jag får stå ut med deras gnäll dag efter dag.
So the governor heard this, and the governor's like, "Come on, man. There's only one rational thing you can do when you have an unhappy workforce." So the government went. They talked to the sawmill owners. They said, "Here's what we'll do." They called in some large military forces.
Oh my god.
They called in large. Here's what we'll do. Let's make this right.
Innan det här eskalerar. This is getting out of hand.
Bring in the troops.
Ta hit alla soldater. Ta hit dem.
They brought in hundreds of soldiers. And with several gunboats and a multi-barreled machine gun.
Ooh. Är det en sån där som man vevar? En sån där?
Can you just spin it first without bullets in it and just show them we mean business?
Yeah.
And the workers were like, we're gonna stand strong, remain disciplined, and they were applauded for of all things remaining sober throughout this, like not drinking. Like, good job, guys. You're not drinking.
Det är depression, ni har inget att se fram emot, inga livsutsikter.
And you're not just wild and drinking out there, because then you give them a reason. So in the evening, they, you don't want to give them a reason to act out on this. So they're just staying in discipline, marching, back then, they didn't really know how to strike, but they were just all together. We're just not gonna work.
De visste inte hur man gjorde. Vad vill vi ha? Vi har inte riktigt pratat igenom det. När vill vi ha det? När som helst kanske, jag vet inte.
Kanske imorgon?
Kanske.
Ja, 2 veckor kanske. Kanske bra.
Så småningom.
Det är upp till er. Eller? Nej, har varit så hela tiden.
Everything
the worst chance ever.
Everything is a question. Lika villkor?
What do we want? We have no idea. What should we say? What should we say? What should we say?
Vill vi ha högre lön? Det har vi inte tänkt på. Vi måste diskutera. Nu ska vi prata. Vill vi ha lön? Ja, det ska vara högre. Gärna några kronor. Går det att få? Det vet vi inte. Snälla rara ni. Bara fortsätter.
Random thought.
Yeah.
My legs hurt. I'm a little tired.
Vi dricker i alla fall ingenting. Ingen fylla, för vi är nyktra.
Oscar, do you have water?
Yeah.
Are you thirsty? I'm thirsty. We don't know what to do, but bring the machine guns. So they have prayer meetings in the evenings. So that was trying to inspire change.
Yeah.
And then after 8 days of the strike, the governor, who's named Curry Treffenberg.
Curry?
Curry. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Curry Treffenberg.
Curry Treffenberg.
He came to the negotiation table and he gave an ultimatum.
Okay.
And he said, after going through all this stuff, I've heard your side of things. And I've talked to the king. This went way up. I've talked to everybody and decided that the ultimatum is either you return to work or you're going to be evicted from the houses we gave you and jailed under the Vagrancy Act. Ooh. And he said, and I need to know, because if you don't give me an answer, we're coming back tomorrow with bayonets.
Nej! Det är ett ultimatum om något alltså. Det är inte mycket till förhandling.
It's just threats.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck y'all.
Okay.
You're gonna work.
Okay. Ja, okej, jag har ett
And
förslag.
this is the governor. It's not even like their boss.
Nej.
It's like the fucking politician that runs your region.
Statsministern. Ja, men säg jobba eller bajonett. Det är väl en bra förhandling. Då har de ett val. Kan vi välja?
Wow, that's a way to negotiate. Mm-hmm. So the strikers were intimidated into resuming work.
Ja.
The actions of the governor and the military meant that the conflict ended without the sawmill owners ever having to negotiate the working conditions at all.
Jesus. Herregud. Och alla de bara, fan vi var nyktra helt i onödan. hade kunnat festa.
Now we want a drink. As they walk outside, like, now we want a drink. And this is when alcoholism was born.
Yay!
The sawmill leadership, since they didn't have to negotiate, they threw another party.
Yeah,
to celebrate this victory.
Så de hade flera miljoner att festa för.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They're just throwing money around.
Shit.
There were some people who remained on Skarpskyttebanan, the peninsula, and they were forced away with bayonets.
Oh, shit.
And the police and military later detained some workers who got singled out. The sawmill owners were like, this motherfucker. They were pointing out people that were like, they think started this whole thing, making this whole uncomfortable situation.
Oh, fy fan.
Yeah, they're August, man. He's like, yeah, but I'm giving money to charity.
Ja, det är så dumt. Det är så konstigt. Det är så dubbelt. Att han,
Several workers were prevented from continuing to work in the city and were evicted with their families out of the housing anyway. They're just like, no, you started this shit. We don't want this to happen again. I used to work for FedEx, and I worked for FedEx Ground. It's like for like business to business or business to home, and they are not unionized. And the way they talk about it, it's almost like a brainwashing. If they find somebody who used to is trying to work there and they used to be connected to, they won't even hire. If they used to be connected to a union, they're like, fuck that guy. It's like a huge thing, man. And it seems like what they were doing, but from the other way.
Yeah.
If you try to like have a meeting and try to get a union started, you're fired.
Yeah.
It's
herregud alltså.
Yeah, it's insane. The governor had been supported by then King Oscar II.
Den gamla rackan.
And he later explained his action by saying violence had been committed against workers who did not participate in the strike. So that was what he said, like that people who didn't want to strike were getting bullied. Mm-hmm. And he judged that a clash was likely between strikers and strike breakers that came from Finland and other places on the situation.
Just det.
That's what he was saying. So then he said that, therefore, he'd been able to apply the Riot Act, but considered himself to have a milder treatment by calmly breaking up the strike.
Okay. Calm. Jag vet inte.
I just threatened their lives and their livelihoods and to make them homeless.
Och allting gick väldigt fredligt till.
I think I deserve a pat on the back. Can somebody say tack gubernur? I haven't heard that. That's one thing I haven't heard.
I'm Governor Peacemaker over here,
man. And I have a peacemaker over here. The county, he explained that the arrest that led to the acquittal with the fact that they did arrest some people, And he said, like, this is, see what I mean? We arrested some people. That shows that it was going to get violent if I didn't act. So the strike effectively ended. Remember, it started on May 26th. It ended on June 4th, 1879.
Okay.
For the majority of the workers, the strike did not lead to improved conditions.
Nej.
However, the daily wage in Tunadal was raised from $125 a day to $150.
Nice! Så det var värt det allt då.
And in Svartvik, work day was limited to 18:00 on Saturdays instead of 20:00. 20:00. So
just det.
So that's 2 hours.
Det är
two more hours.
Ja, men
you're also losing three crowns.
Men ändå, alltså.
And older strikers were compensated with $1.50 per strike day because they were considered forced to strike.
Ja, de äldre.
So they gave them like a little back pay for the 8 days.
Vart ska vi? Vi ska strejka.
Nej! I can't walk that long.
Jag älskar att jobba för 1 krona.
Plus my knee told me that it's gonna rain tomorrow. I can't walk in the rain. An association was formed at Stockvik's sawmill sometime after the strike in 1879. And they had a task of collecting a strike fund for future battles. Because like when you're striking, you're not getting paid from the company, so they have some money to pay out, you know. That's what they do now. I don't know if you knew that.
Ja, gör de det under strejk?
Yeah, they have like, that's what the unions are for.
Jo, men jag har typ aldrig haft ett normalt jobb. Så jag vet
inte. But what they have is like a pool of money. You're paying dues every month, and then they're pooling this money in case we have to strike. You can still get paid, and then you don't have to stress and take bad working conditions.
Cool.
Responsibility for the fund was placed on Free Church pastor Erik Broström.
Broström? Nästan mitt namn.
Man. That's like your almost uncle.
Cool.
He was elected chairman of the delegation that represented the workers during the negotiations with Treffenberg. And that didn't go well.
Nej, det var bajonetthot igen, eller?
Right. He didn't belong to the labor movement that was coming up. Now there was a labor movement thing happening.
Okay.
And but he was chosen to get this fund because he explained to Treffenberg all of these poverty issues. And he was saying that most of the members were Baptist. And then this politician who we might hear about in the future, August Palm, he came to the district, and the strike fund collapsed completely because Palm, he was a political agitator, and he delivered a violent speech with coarse language about religion and how it doesn't need to be involved in this type of stuff.
Okay.
And then the Stockvik workers that were believers, including Erik Broström, were scared away from the union. They were like, people think we're evil. And then that fell apart because of this guy, August Palm, who was a known agitator.
Ganska smart ändå få bort...
break the unions. Another strike came about 10 years later, but the workers were still not yet organized, partially because of this running off of agitation. And it was only much later when the workers were organized that negotiations on terms took place between the parties. So this was the beginning, and then a couple decades later, they finally got organized and were able to get better conditions. And that is the story of Sudsvallsstrejken, one of the first strikes in Swedish history.
Oh my God!
And I did that because it's Labor Day coming up, or Valborg.
Ja, har det med jobb att göra? Jag hade ingen aning.
Isn't that when people don't they go out and have the protest?
Ja, 1 maj. Ja.
That's coming up, yeah.
Valborg är mer fira våren och 1 maj är...
It's the day after, right? Okay.
So you're supposed to be a bit hungover from staring at a massive bonfire.
Yeah. Cool tradition. I love the smell.
Det är kul.
But yeah, man, that was it. I thought
awesome,
that was a cool story, man. I wanted
to
find an old strike to talk about.
I love it. Snyggt.
Yeah. This is fun to do. And those of you that aren't contributors, it's nice if you do contribute at patreon.com/teachmesweden. If you got, you can give as little as 2 crowns. 10 crowns.
Just nu tjänar vi 1 krona per avsnitt, så det vore skönt att höja den.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of a union,
we might go into strike, people.
If you don't join Patreon, we will hit you with some bayonets. Just throwing it out there.
Då går vi i strejk och söker upp er med våra bajonetter.
But 10 crowns a month, 10 crowns per month can get you ad-free episodes. And we put some video stuff out. Some of our Patreon subscribers are watching this on video now.
Oh yeah.
We got individual cameras now. We're bouncing back and forth.
Ja, jag vet det. Kolla nu ni som är Patreons. Kolla vad vi switchar mellan kamerorna. Det här är rena rama Steven Spielberg in the making.
Yeah, man.
Ja, det där vill ni se. Så bli Patreon. Vi uppskattar verkligen all hjälp vi kan få för att vi tycker om att göra det här. Vi fortsätter göra det forever.
Yeah, and if you have some suggestions, teachmesweden@gmail.com and Swedish for Erik. You just got one I sent to you.
Ja, jag vet.
And then English for me. And we promise not to peak. And thank you so much. This has been Teach Me Sweden. Jonathan Rollins.
Och Erik Broström.
Teaching you Sweden. Peace.
Fred.